Penn Township Board of Supervisors now call the meeting to order on Wednesday, September 28, 2016, and the time is 7:06 p.m. We will go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Second thing on the agenda this evening is executive session. We did have an executive session on 9/8 and 9/16, referencing to personnel issues. And then this evening, we had executive session at 6 p.m. With the Penn Township Board of Supervisors relating to potential litigation and personnel issues, and there was no actions taken. All right, we'll go ahead and go to number 3 there on the agenda, recognition of visitors.
Mr. Boyer first.
Okay.
Frank Boyer. You'll need that.
Good evening, my name's Frank Boyer. I'm here with it's two-part, it's a complaint, it's also, I'm here for a request from the board, and that's for a driveway permit to be withdrawn from Mr. Ford down on Spur Lane. The driveway, in my opinion, was illegal from day one. The permit should never have been issued. There is a minimum site distance requirement, which I don't know or understand the formula, but by him exiting his driveway at our property line, there was no way he had any site distance at all. I was out there today, and I have his plan here in front of me, and according to his plan, from what I understand, when you're sitting 10 feet back on his driveway, you're supposed to have a site distance to the south of 150 feet. This site distance to the south is my line. That's it. There's trees and stuff there, there's a drain culvert. To the north, what I have here says it's supposed to be 300 feet. You can't even see 100 feet to the north. My complaint with this driveway, before this driveway was installed, was because this driveway would illuminate my entire property as people exit the property. That was my request was shot down instantly because it was said that it was ridiculous about illuminating a residential property. It happens all the time when people drive around in residential neighborhoods. Read the Duncan Record that week, and in the Duncan Record it had that the Penn Township shot down a proposal to put storage units out on 849 because of illuminating a residential neighborhood. Now, whenever I came here and argued about this driveway, Mr. Ford's engineer was here, and he assured everybody here that this driveway would be used as residential use only. Now today, I understand that Mr. Ford has obtained a demolition permit to demolish, tear down the only residential building left on his lot. Therefore, I'm respectfully requesting that this permit be revoked. It should have never been issued. I mean, it actually says here that there's a speed limit sign on that road posted 5 miles an hour. There is. If you go the whole way to the dead end where there used to be a bridge, there's a 1-ton weight limit with a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit. That stuff isn't there anymore because of the expansions and everything that Mr. Ford did there. I don't know for sure, but I do believe his driveway may be on my property, some. I had a surveyor come out and he measured off my property and everything was marked. Then the township came and paved the road. I didn't know that was going to be paved. No, I didn't pay for him to come back out and remeasure it after the driveway was installed. But I'm bouncing around here a little bit. Whenever my original game plan when the township, the old council shot me down, was I would just wait until the driveway was ready to be installed, and then I would have a stop work order issued because he does not have no sight distance at all because of my property. Mr. Ford's remedy to that was he came onto my property and cleared my property to give himself some sight distance. He still doesn't have the 147 feet, but he does have some sight distance now. I'd like to add, Mr. Ford has bullied everybody around down in that neighborhood, and we all allowed him to put his garage there. As far as I know, nobody complained about him putting his garage down there. Everybody tried to be nice neighbors. I understand he has made offers on properties other than mine, but his business has devalued our properties by his hand, and he wants to take advantage of that by offering us less than what we paid for the property. And I can personally say that on my part, that he did offer me less than what I paid for the property 10 years prior to that. So I'm asking if Jens would revoke the permit, if for no other reason, because it's for residential use only, and the house is going to be going away probably next week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Has the permits been
The
issued?
demolition permit has been issued.
Okay.
Mr. Forrest said he was going to wait to demolish until the residents that are living there are moved out, supposedly the end of this month.
Okay.
And then he was going to demolish the house.
Okay.
Can I have a minute to add something to that? Just one more
Yes,
statement?
yeah.
Thank you. I could have waited until Mr. Ford took the house down completely, then came to Jens and asked to have the permit, to have the driveway revoked or removed or whatever. But I'm not the guy that's going out there Sunday morning tearing the building down. I'm the guy that's right here up front saying, this is what I would like before he even tears the building down. So I just wanted to add that there's been a lot of backhanded things happening down there in that neighborhood that generally happen early Sunday morning, including the installation of the driveway. Thank you.
We can't take any action till the demolition is done, correct?
Well, in any permit issued, you have to have a damage before you can revoke. So as long as there's still the ability to have a residential occupancy, the best you can do is write a letter and say, if you're planning on doing this, please note such and such a condition or such and such a note on the plan that says that this driveway has to be for residential use. Where's the residence going to be? You can ask,
Okay.
but I don't think you can revoke yet.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next on the visitors list?
Well, Jim Renner's not here, so it'd be Mrs. Gauss.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Gauss.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Light?
Lee.
Sorry.
I was here last month about a couple of intersections. You guys assured me you were going to look into this, address it, and someone would contact me. Obviously, no one contacted me. I'm here to ask you, what have you done?
Well, as working with other state agencies or other government agencies, sometimes we're at their mercy to respond. I do believe this has been an ongoing issue with these particular intersections. I don't know if we want to address it now on the highway report, or wait till, do you want to address it now, Mr. Chubb? You know, out of your highway report, because you checked into it, correct? Yes.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah, if you want to just do that portion of it.
Well, then I have something else when he's done, okay? But
Okay.
I'll let him go ahead. Go ahead.
I did check with our state rep, Rick Levan, who's our rep for PennDOT. Basically didn't get any information that really led me anywhere, other than the fact of the obstructions, like the one at the end of Clinton Hill, especially. The biggest obstruction is up the road like 50 feet, where the bank pops out in the old elm tree. Everything is basically all for right of way, but PennDOT looks at it as, because it's our road, we're coming out with the obstruction, it's our problem. That creates a big problem for us because we have no right of way jurisdiction to go do anything on our own.
You're talking about the one up by Linton Hill.
Well, in any situation, even Butcher Hill, Butcher Shop, the corn is down along the PennDOT right of way, not on, the corn's not up at right of way off Butcher Shop. So it just creates and he basically told me that I was hoping he had a connection that he could lead me to, someone that works within right of way, or, basically told me that he's comes across this all the time, with all the municipalities that he works with, and basically you just don't get anywhere.
So I guess my question is to you, I'll ask you, maybe you know or maybe you guys know. So what you're telling me is, and I just want to make sure we're clear on this, that nothing can be done about any of this.
Well, nothing can be done without him getting involved in an extensive legal.
Yeah, what he's telling you is, we can only do things within our right of way. Otherwise, we're taking people's property.
Okay.
So what's happening is, the right of way that we own is not where the problem is. It's PennDOT right of way. So we don't have an enforcement power around the corner on the state road. We only have the enforcement power at the intersection, and the impede is not at the intersection on our right of way. So the only way that the township could somehow fix that would be to take somebody's property and remove it, and then we'd own a piece of property 4 feet wide by 3 feet, if the court would even allow that to be taken. The best we can do is, I think, what they've done in the past: write a letter, ask somebody to cut the corn back, hope that they do it, but we don't have an ordinance that requires corn to be planted back so many feet from a right of way or anything like that.
Here's my question. In light of writing a letter, why couldn't someone, or a few of you, or a couple of you from the township, go up there and nicely talk to this guy and explain to him what the objective is here and why you're doing what you're doing, instead of getting all official with a letter? If you go talk to him, he'll probably do it.
Well, the issue that on that side of the road is actually Wheatfield Township.
That's the Linton Hill one, not Butcher Shop.
Well, you're correct, that's one about
Yes.
Linton Hill, that's Wheatfield, okay? So, I don't know what, that would have to be something we would work with Linton or with Wheatfield to talk to that property owner on that hill, and maybe they'll let us cut it back, or let the state or Wheatfield cut it back.
Right, property owner has to agree.
Okay, correct.
But my question is wouldn't we be better to just go nicely, don't demand, just go nicely talk to this man and say, look, we need your help, we need to work with it. Maybe he will. He could be a good guy and say, yeah, hey, no problem, I'll do it. I mean, to me, that's the best way to do it. This is a small township. It's not like we're a big city here. Everybody knows everybody. I mean, why not go talk to, you probably know the property owner. He could be a good guy. I mean,
I did try to catch him there and was unsuccessful. He just wasn't, timing was off. Did speak to him on the phone. And on the phone, I probably would have been different face to face as
Are we talking about the corn or talking
the
about?
corn.
Okay.
And on the phone, it was obvious I wasn't getting anywhere.
Okay.
he didn't want to do it.
Well, on the phone, my read was, and again, it's different face to face, and you're just hearing a phone conversation, trying to read, but on the phone, it was who reported it, and it's been there all summer, why'd you wait so long to worry about it?
Give him I live right up the street from him, tell him to come up and see me, I'm not afraid, I mean, tell him to
Well,
come see me.
but I didn't want to do that without,
Oh,
you know, especially without
he-
talking to you and without
He pulls in
permission.
my driveway, him and I will have a conversation.
Right.
I mean, if that's the route he wants to go, I don't have a problem with that.
And
But at the
again,
end of the
I'm not directly saying that he's not concerned about it, I'm just saying my read on the telephone conversation, just my read of.
Okay, and I respect that. Here's what I'm trying to say, is I don't want this to just go fizzle away. You know he's gonna be chopping it down soon, because it's already dead, he's probably using it for feed. I get that. But I don't want you to wait till it's chopped down and say, well, he's gonna go away now because the problem's solved, because the problem will be there next year. What I'm asking the township to do is step in and at least attempt to try to work with this guy, you know, whatever we can do to work with him and correct the problem. I just don't want to see somebody get killed there.
I have no problem with that, as long as I get direction that I'm within, you know, from, I mean, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
And I appreciate that, I really do, and I appreciate you not having your hat today, by the way.
I normally don't wear a hat.
I know, you look good without it,
I
you
normally-
don't need it.
I normally don't wear a hat, I just,
But look, you know, I know I've had my issues with this township, and some of you in here know who I am. You know, I built that new building on my property a couple years ago. We had to have an official hearing over that because I don't know, were you here then?
No, sir.
No,
I obtained permits from the township to build another building on my property. And it was, you know, I did everything I was supposed to do with all the drawings. While they're building the building, they come up and your inspector, which is an outside company, shut me down and told me I'm in violation of all these codes and all this crap. I had permits. So in turn, I had to have a hearing to fight this so I could continue to build the building. And we resolved it, but it cost me some money to do it, which I thought was unfair. I mean, I should have, be honest with you, I should have sued the township for my losses because I didn't feel that was fair to me, that I had to pay for this hearing when I already paid for the permits. But, you know, that's old news. I just don't want you to taint what I'm here to say today just because of what happened in the past. I feel I was very civil with that whole matter. A lot of you didn't work here then, I get that.
Open slate, didn't know anything about it.
And I respect that, I
You
do.
were a supervisor at that time, and so was Mr. McGuire.
Was he? Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
You remember that? The
How
hearing?
long ago was it?
14,
Maybe a couple years ago.
14,
Well, I don't remember it,
yeah, you were just on board.
just on board.
Mhm.
So, okay. Sorry, stand corrected.
You know, the point I'm trying to make is if the township, this township needs to interact with their people more and not just people that you're personal friends with. You need to take into, what I'm asking you to do is take into consideration every complaint, every concern that any citizen has. This man right here has a very legitimate concern. I would hope that you're gonna follow up with him and work with him on this. That's all I'm saying. Because I know what happened to me in the past and what seems to be happening with this road thing. I'm asking you to please do the right thing before someone gets killed up there in that intersection.
I will seek our solicitors, give him a call tomorrow and see where we're at with legalities on the corner. When it comes to the state, we're very limited on what we can do.
And I
You know,
understand that.
So it's another
I understand
beast
that.
and another machine in itself.
I
you
get
know.
that.
But I will check further with this, with our solicitor tomorrow and get more information.
And I have one more question. If a citizen comes here with a concern like this man had and I had, and I'm sure there's some others, are these concerns being put into the minutes?
Yes,
Okay, they are? I just
Yes.
want to make sure they are.
Yes.
Okay, so there's record of it.
yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right, Ellen, next.
Cece,
Just have a question. Are you the gentleman from the record?
Yes, Jim.
You're Jim Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're the one I need to address. This was the September 15th edition of the Duncannon Record. And the article regarding Penn Township, I found quite a few inaccuracies, which did not surprise me. The biggest one that stood out to me was in the very first column, where you have that the property that was discussed is roughly a half-acre tract. Apparently, you're not real good at math, because...
Excuse me, hold on a second. This is not the place to do this. You wanna talk about my story, you can call me at my office in the morning.
Okay, no, I think it is the
This
place, because
Actually,
And I'm not gonna be insulted.
hello.
in a public
I'm
meeting
not
like this.
insulting, I'm looking for the
You said
truth.
I'm a horrible
I
man.
call this meeting to order. I believe that this is not the place for this. You've had since September 15th to call the editor of the newspaper. So
I would just like to make sure that what takes place at a meeting is correctly
Okay.
reported.
And that's what-
it
okay.
is not being done.
Okay, then that's when you talk to his boss, because we have no control, no power of that, Cece, and you know that. So therefore, I suggest for you to get a hold of the editor of the newspaper, so that way you can file your complaint with him and let the newspaper do a retraction.
Okay, next time I will do that, but I do think that there are several things that, the information that was given for that article had been given, probably by one person, and there are quite a few inaccuracies in that. Not sure how that took place, but I did want that on record that what was printed is not the truth. And I will leave it at that. It's amazing how some people get to talk and others don't. Thank you, that's all I have.
Next,
Henry?
I just make a comment that it's nice to know that the media can publish what they want, and we can't say anything about it.
you have every right to say anything about it, but this is not, he's not my employee,
Or it's representing the township in the way it is.
okay?
Right.
Therefore, he works for the newspaper,
That's all
and
I
just
have
like
to say.
anytime you have a complaint against a newspaper, call his boss. Call his boss. I'm not his boss, I can't demand for him to retract something. Okay, if you have issue with the newspaper, like I had issues with some
I
things that,
said media, I didn't specify what. I just
okay,
said
media, whoever it is,
Okay.
okay? I had issues with something that was on social media. I went to our state representative, our state senator, and I made clear the injustice that was done. And you know what has happened? Because I, as a citizen, like you, I went to State Representative Tepler's office because this was an issue that was directly, that he could deal with. And I've gotten 2 correspondence back, both issue, of the same issue has been resolved. Has been resolved, because it's the power of the pen or the power of the phone. Obama's not the only one that has a phone and a pen. We also have one. Use it. Thank you. Next.
Mr. Noss?
Do I get a chance to talk when we're in the correspondence section, when,
That is up to them. He sent a letter in requesting, it's under in correspondence coming in. If you wish to wait until then, or now, it's up to you, gentlemen. Yes, it's on the agenda at the end of the meeting.
I don't really have anything to say unless the supervisors have questions about my signage request.
And very back. Looks like this, Joe. Nope, keep going. Oh, wait, no, not that one. Keep going.
Nope, that's it.
No, it should be, it's in there. We just don't see it. God.
Above electronics recycling.
Mr. Noss. Letter? Yeah. That was under the, yeah.
Question, I guess we'll go ahead and move it up on the agenda and address it now then, if that's okay.
Sure.
Were the speed limit signs eliminated when they did the road construction on those roads?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, so there's no speed limit sign, I'm familiar with Faculty Road as in, the upper end.
I've been at the farm for 6 to 7 years, and to my knowledge, there were never any speed limit signs. I only got that information from the neighbor that said that the speed limit sign, where the speed limit sign was located at our property line, and that really isn't my major concern. My major concern
Correct.
is the second page that just shows an aerial of the farm with the proposed tractor crossing signs and pedestrian signs between the house and the barn. The speed limit signs, it was more of a question. I'm not pressing that by any means. I just laid out this aerial showing the locations where there would be adequate sight distance, just to warn motorists of, potential tractor crossing and crossing of us between the house and the barn on the corner. I have noticed that within the past couple years, people have been going progressively faster and faster and faster through that area. And probably because we have changed our practices from what was done before with not running farm equipment down the middle of the road. We try to look out for everybody else. That wasn't done before so much. So I think people have taken advantage of that, knowing that we're probably not going to be sitting in the middle of the road, so they go a little bit faster now. But I guess the only thing I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is the buried phone line that runs along Faculty Road, and 2 of the signs would be located pretty close to that, and I guess a PA1 call would be required for that.
Helen, common practice in the past has been when signage has been requested for safety reasons, children have played, things like that. Usually it's been offered that if the person requesting would pay for the signage, we would put up the signs.
Correct.
Okay.
The sign, the post.
Is that something you'd be,
Absolutely, yeah, I stated, that's the initial purchase of the signs, and then from my understanding, you guys would install them and then take ownership of them.
okay, yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I
that's-
didn't need that. Okay.
You guys would then take ownership, and, if they would get hit or somebody would seal
Maintenance,
them.
correct.
Yeah. I guess, if that's okay, that's definitely not a problem to get those signs. And then as far as the speed limit goes, I'm not pushing that, I'm just curious, because if the speed limit's unposted, it's 55. If there should be speed limit signs up, I guess that's more of a maintenance issue, but if there was never an engineering study done, then, see, I don't know if there were ever signs up or not, that's all hearsay to me. I don't know if that's true or not. But if there weren't, then an engineering study would be required. And that's, yes, no, maybe. I guess that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm not demanding that signs be put up by engineers. I'm more concerned about the tractor and pedestrian signs at our location.
If there is no speed limit signs, would that be a road study for that? or-
Yeah, if we don't already have one done. I'd have to see if we have one done for that area.
All right. If you could check into the speed signs, okay?
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and accept the agreement that there would be 2 sets of signs posted on separate ends or different ends of faculty, just at the beginning of the farm area. On each side, one would be a pedestrian and one would give notification of tractor. And then on the opposing side, I guess would be the east side of the farm. Likewise, the same signage be placed with the proper posting before the farm. With the agreement that Mr. Knowles is requesting these signs, that he would pay for the signage and the post,
Yes.
and then the township would be willing to place those signage. Okay, do I have a second?
You have a second, sir.
All right, any discussion?
Question
Yes.
for you. At the crossing area, would there have to be crosswalks there or not?
Not on the township road.
Okay.
Okay. All right, any questions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. So done, sir.
Mr. Benner?
Yeah, I got a question about what's happening with the demolition project at 12 Brook Road. Rodents have taken over that building, and I hate to think about somebody being bitten by a rabid animal. It's gonna happen sooner or later. They're running in and out of there like wildfire.
You want to talk?
The trash issue and the demolition issue are 2 separate issues. They're 2 separate ordinances. So the trash issue, there's a pending deadline on Helen's birthday. The demolition issue, we can only do if they fail to secure or adjust the building. And the reason they got their cease and desist was open window and porch falling down. Porch is down, I think the window's still open.
Yeah.
And the trailer got its separate notice and it's still on the timeline. Rather than me filing 3 separate actions at 3 separate price tags, we're trying to get these consolidated, hopefully by the end of the month, into a single action for all the issues on the property.
What he's saying is after the deadline on the trash, which is October 11th, he's going to do everything at one time through the court.
Otherwise, what the court would make me do is bring Ordinance A, an entire complaint, filing, and service. Ordinance B, because it didn't expire yet at the time, an entire complaint, filing, and service. Ordinance C, that's 3 times the price, versus 1 complaint that says she violated A, B, and C, and we want to remedy it. We're trying to get it, we're also trying not to waste money, so to speak, be efficient at it.
I don't want you to waste any money.
I didn't think so. That's why I wanted to explain why there's sort of a delay between the building's down, but the porch is down, it's still open, and the reason is the citations for each came at 3 different time periods. If you remember, first we hit the roof, the house, and then there was a trailer issue, and of course the trash issue was noticed after those and followed up, so we're trying to get them all on the same timeline.
All right, I have another issue then with Stonebridge Nursing Home. They have people coming in there, specialty medical services, special nurses, visitors, that when they come from up 11 and 15, their GPS directs them in and they come back my driveway. And some of them realize that it's a dead end and they'll whip around the ring and take off. Specialty Medical was up there the other day, and they did that. They turned around and whipped off. Well, till they got over to the nursing home, I was over there too. And I have 3 no trespassing signs out there, and I kind of lit into them, asked them if they couldn't read. And the driver told me he was from Detroit, and he never seen any one of those signs that said no trespassing. And he was following his GPS. So that's the third time I went into the nursing home and asked to speak to somebody in charge. Nobody was there that was in charge. They took a note and said, the man that was here is now gone, which I made 2 visits to that time. But now there was a woman in charge, and she would get back to me within 5 to 10 days. It's been over 10 days and nobody's contacted me again. I've made 2 or 3 phone calls up there asking to speak to somebody. There's nobody there. I've requested through the receptionist there that they contact the township to erect signs on this side of Faculty Row stating the nursing home is like a quarter of a mile up the road. I said that the township would place them if they would purchase them. The receptionist was really great to me. She said, if I was in charge, you would have them up right now. But to this day, nobody has responded and called me or tried to contact me in any way, shape, or form. Would it be possible to have somebody, the police officer or one of you gentlemen, to go up and talk to them to see if we can correct the problem? If they come from next corner down, it's no problem. The GPS directs them in the right way. If they come up from the stop sign down here, it
And weren't
directs
you
them in our
recommending for
driveway.
these signs to be put on Faculty Road?
No, before you get to Faculty Road, when you're coming up on 274, before you get to Faculty.
Well, I think that's an issue because it's a state highway and we don't have, I don't think we have say on state highway. So that would be an issue that you would have to get with PennDOT out on Newport.
Yeah.
PennDOT on Newport. Yes, New Bloomfield.
I'm
Yes,
sorry, yeah,
yes.
New Bloomfield.
District 8 office.
Yeah, the District 8 office in New Bloomfield, they're just before Carnes. That's who you would have to, on state road, because we don't have jurisdiction on state road. Now, question, Helen, is there any way for us to notify a GPS company? Is it through the county GPS, or,
Well, the way, when,
because I know we were looking at something out
On-
on Henry's
yes.
property about getting them to fix that.
yes, and what Mr. York told me was that they don't sell the information to the companies like MapQuest and the GPS and people and all that. But there's another company that comes in and downloads it off the websites or internet, and they sell it to them.
Okay,
They never guarantee it's correct.
okay.
Truthfully, PennDOT's your best bet.
All right, I'm gonna start taking license numbers down, and I want every one of them that comes in there arrested for trespassing, and I will prosecute.
You hear that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, what question should be addressed to the chief?
If Stonebridge doesn't want to address this, I will.
Take a picture of the car on your property.
Yep.
Well, with what he said too, there's been tractor trailers that come back there. You know how tiny that road is.
Yeah.
And we've had to help them back up and turn around and go back up, because it shows them Chandra Drive leading them across, up Rupp Road to Chandra Drive, which used to be an
Old farm road.
farm road. And yeah, that hasn't happened lately, but, you know.
Well, I know, and it's kind of, I don't think it's a solution, it's just, I know back in the code, when Buddy Boy's Winery was, as was put in, a lot of people were driving in other people's roads, and they actually have a sign back there saying, we're not Buddy Boys. Okay, you know, so, I don't know, like we said, the best route at this point here is one, PennDOT, would be your, so, trying to get a hold of them to see about signage, you know, Stonebridge 2 miles ahead or something, I don't know, or half a mile ahead or something like that. The other issue is, if they're trespassing, and I've been back in your area quite a bit, it is quite apparent, I don't know how anybody could miss those signs, okay? So it's your right as a property owner to post your property and expect people to respect that. So,
I don't wanna go that route.
Oh, I understand.
I would rather have Stonebridge
correct.
place a directional
And
sign.
I'll tell you what I'll do, and because there's not much I can do, but I will try to be a, stand in the gap. Let me see if I can talk to somebody at Stonebridge, and just as a mediator, just somebody of a contact, and see if I can make contact with somebody and see what we can do to.
Because they're just totally ignoring me. I mean, that's just disrespectful, that's all. I'm done.
Question. Would there be a possibility of putting a sign out, this is at the end of Faculty Road, correct? Okay, would there be a possibility of putting a sign at Faculty Road that says this is not Stonebridge entrance? And if they come in their tractor trailer, right, they can get out around Hickory and come back out. Be very simple and easy to say, maybe that would solve all these problems. It's on township right away. Just a suggestion.
Let me look into that and see what
That
we
solves
can.
the problem before it gets there.
Correct, yeah, if we put it right there at that corner, so that way they
Just that
see it
they
as they're
come off.
turning, they'll just see that sign right there at the beginning of Hickory and
Gives it
Faculty.
easy access for tractor trailers to escape, et cetera, et cetera.
My only question, yeah, correct,
And they can even put the sign up for you.
yeah. Let me get ahold of the nursing home, see what they're willing to part with, and then, I will get up with our solicitor, see, and where the best place to put that sign is, to do that, because, I understand, that, you know, I have quite a few people that miss turns and constantly turning around in my driveway. I've even had my parking lot used as an overnight sleeping area. So I look out my window at 2 o'clock in the morning and see somebody pulling into my driveway, sitting and sleeping. Okay, so, anyway, and no, I didn't call the cops. I just went out and told the guy, this is private property, and he left. But, anyway, I'll look into it. I'll talk with Stonebridge, see what we can do about, doing a turnaround. We're not Stonebridge. Okay?
Max had a good point. There might be a clause with directional signage on the state with townships. I'll check with Rick.
I think it's a possibility. You can put a directional sign on a state highway. You can't put a regulatory sign, but you put directional signs. I think they may have to, I'm not even sure if they have to approve
Like
them, but
Stonebridge,
they
a half mile ahead or
You
something
could
like
just,
that.
they would just say Stonebridge.
I think that would be the smart move, yeah.
So if he checks with his contacted district office, that'll probably be a quick way to solve that.
When you say he, check with the district office.
I'll call Rick tomorrow.
Okay. All right,
Since he's got a working relationship with each other.
okay. So we actually have a contact with the state. All right, anything else, sir?
I'm done.
Okay.
I used my 3 minutes.
Bob?
No, nothing at this time. I'll just make 9 minutes next time, no,
Okay.
4.5.
Lee?
Hickory Drive, you were back and you patched a couple holes on there, but there were the drain comes through, there's a heck of a bump, heck of a dip, right on the edge.
The culvert I marked, sir, is there paint there?
Yeah.
It's getting replaced. It probably would have been done, but we did some tar and chip on, we got it squeezed in. The deadline for tar and chips, the end of the month, was the end of September, and we squeezed it in. But I just gotta have Helen make the one call, and it'll probably be replaced possibly next week. But it's to be replaced. And some hot paving needs done up where we patched it. Even though we patched it, it's still a little rough. But to fix that properly, we gotta do some hot mix up there instead of just a cold patch. I mean, we got the deep hole, so there's a little more work needs done up there as well until we can get it tarred and chipped.
It's a pretty good,
Yeah, and it just got worse
yeah.
in the last week. I've been monitoring it.
And no police chief tonight?
You're down by my house, there's some activity out there, that's why.
Yeah, Chief is out on official business this evening.
You snuck out the back door.
I thought they were looking for me.
That's what I mean, you went out the back door.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Hoffman,
That'd be me.
okay.
Yes, I just have a question. I live on the corner of Factory Road and Brook Road, and I got a flyer a couple of weeks ago from a neighbor regarding the possibility of a dog training and kennel opening out in fact at the end of Brook Road, 18 Brook Road, I think. Just wonder if there's any current information on that.
It's likely not to occur.
No.
The property is up for sale.
Properties up for sale.
Yes.
Thank you.
Don't buy it.
It's getting close to my bedtime, too.
Okay, yep, next time.
I think we should go for
Mr. Boyer's talked. Mr. Liddick.
Yeah, I have a couple questions on some concerns we have. It's all back to this Ford dealership. We talked to the neighbors that live there now, and according to them, they're planning on leveling this now. This place isn't even getting cold, and they're already wanting to level that. We were told the reason they're leveling that is because they're going to erect a garage, a service center, right there where that house is located. Now, my concern is, well, my question is there anything that I can do about it if it does come about? I don't have a problem with them putting the service center there, but where they want to put it, that's going to create a noise issue with us. We already deal with the trains and the highway, but then we're going to have a loudspeaker all day and all night going off. We're going to have illumination from all the lights they're going to be putting up. From what I heard, there's nothing as far as an erection permit put there. But if so, is there anything that we can do to contest it? As far as the location of it, if that's where they're gonna put it? Like I said, I have no issue with them putting it there, but why can't they put it closer to their building instead of all the way in the back of the property by mine and Frank Boyer's?
To my knowledge, there's been no,
Nothing has come into the township about anything going up,
Well, I'm
okay?
just saying,
Well,
I know it's hearsay right now, but it's because she acted like she knew what she was talking about with them wanting to get her out of there, and then I did notice that they didn't hesitate on getting surveyors out there, putting property lines up, and they're already gonna level it before they're even out for like one day.
yeah. They would have to come in and do a land development plan. At that point, zoning will be looked at, actual building it. During that process, they can come in and talk at the planning commission,
And here.
and here, to state your concerns. Make suggestions to them or not. Can't guarantee they'll take them, but there is a land development
I just wanna make sure I don't
process.
want any bad blood between me and the dealership, because all the neighbors there have told me that this guy has been trying to bully all the property owners around there to decrease their property value so that they can get the rest of it. According to them, they want that whole corner. And they're gonna try to bully us into selling for a cheap price by doing stuff like that, putting that garage right there where it's gonna be a nuisance to us, so that they can decrease our property value, get it for cheaper, as a matter of fact, probably less than what we owe on it yet, and then us not be able to do anything. I just wanna make sure we do have options.
Yes.
Standard land development plan comes to the township, it comes to the planning commission at least once. Usually it's more than once, but at least once. So those are public meetings, and
Now, being a property owner, would I actually get like a letter notifying me that there's gonna be anything? Or-
no, what you would need to do, unless there was a zoning issue, then you would.
Yeah.
But for land development, and what you need to do is simply continue to call and check with the township if they've got a plan. It's not something that he's gonna be able to do and put up, and then you're gonna find out about it. Because of the things that he's doing, there's gonna be some engineering involved. After the planning commission reviews it, it then comes before the board of supervisors for their review. We're again a public meeting where you have an opportunity to speak. If there is a plan submitted, the township would be able to give you the name of the person preparing the plan. If you wanted to talk to the surveyor, the engineer, whomever that may be about things, obviously you'd have a right to get a copy of the plan and what was submitted. You would submit the proper request through Helen to get that information. And so, so long as there's no provision for a township to sort of tell all the neighbors what's going on everybody's property unless it's a zoning issue, but certainly you call in and say, did you get anything in? We're gonna tell you yes, or you call, planning commission meetings are same time every month.
Third Monday.
And so you'd be able to call before each third Monday of the month and say, is there anything on the agenda relating to this? They say no, it won't be addressed at that meeting.
Now, just one more question, I'm done. Just a speculation, and you knowing what you know, do you know that property where I'm talking about? Do you see it being approved for him to put that right on the edge of Spur Road like that, as far as the zoning goes?
That's an issue. Zoning is the use of property. Location of a building is land development ordinances. So there's setback ordinances, there's all kinds of issues that come when you land develop. There's stormwater, there's impervious surface, there's access, there's all kinds of things. That goes to a review of the township's engineers going to review that plan and provide comments, and those are all going to be discussed at the planning commission. So, you know, I can't speculate on where the rainbow's gonna show up next either. All I can say is you have to come look and see what the comments are, see if he's matching what the code requires.
How's that property zoned?
Commercial?
How big it is? We bought our house, we were told it's residential.
So then they won't have a zoning hearing.
Well, they could have a setback issue that they need relief from, they could have a lot of different,
Use.
yeah, that they need relief from, so we can't guarantee they won't. They may want to put in less parking spots, they may want to put in, you know, some special stormwater, or reduce the size of their pond or something. So there could be a zoning issue. Anytime there's a uniquely shaped piece of property, there's a better likelihood of a zoning issue than a nice big square tract of land. Doesn't mean there will be, but if there is, you'll get a written letter on that as an adjoining
As far
owner.
as the service station or the garage being put up, I have no problem with that, it's just where they want to put it. I mean, they have that whole big lot right there, and they want to sit that thing right on the back of Spur Road, right by our properties. That's gonna increase traffic, noise, light, like I said, so it's gonna be a nuisance where it is, and like I said, through the neighbors, I'm just getting the impression that this guy's trying to bully so that we sell him our house for a lot cheaper than what he paid. That's my concern, As long as that's on the record, I'll watch and call and make sure what's going on. That's all I have.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jim? Ryan?
Nothing, thank you.
Susan?
With what Mr. Benner was saying earlier, I had called the courthouse to find out about the Rupp Road property taxes because they were up for sheriff's sale because they hadn't paid taxes. Then I understood that at the last minute, they paid whatever they paid in order to get out from being delinquent. But I don't think they paid the entire amount that they owe. And I'm wondering how long properties are allowed to go just getting by paying the minimum when the rest of us pay our taxes on time and aren't defaulting, and we, you know, we don't get any benefit for doing that, but they get away with doing stuff like that, and that just sort of grates me, you know. I'm just
2 years. State legislature says that once you are 2 years delinquent on taxes, your property will go up for the initial tax sale.
Okay,
You have the right to pay 1 year's worth to make you only 1 year delinquent.
okay.
The next year you fail to pay, you go back on tax sale as 2 years delinquent, you'll pay 1 year's worth.
Okay.
So the state legislature made that scheme. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people, you probably read the paper and see some of the same names a lot, and a lot of them are business people because that they do that to keep their money in their pocket or they can't afford it, but they catch it at the last minute.
Okay. The other thing is, what's going on down there at Sitco's? What's all that? I called Helen, she said it's for the pipeline, but boy, there's a heck of a lot of stuff down there. Jiffy John, did they get the permit? They have a Jiffy John down there.
No. Well, that's a construction site, so it's exempt
Oh,
under
okay,
the
don't have
order.
to worry about that. I'm just wondering, is that all for the pipeline?
That's all for the
Holy
pipeline.
crap, what are they gonna do?
The
Maintenance.
skids that they have there.
And they have the shipping container and the
Well,
big
the skids are
trailer?
actually the environmental barriers that they use to put up so that way it run off and things like that.
Okay.
So apparently where a lot of the stuff that they're drilling underneath things and just make sure that they're not contaminating water or they're doing the, farmers know that, right? All the barriers you gotta put up to make sure we're not contaminating waterways. So that's what a lot of that stuff is that I see. I actually stopped in one evening when the grip guys were there just to check it out to see what the, you know.
Yeah, I was nosy, I went.
You know, so a lot of that stuff is just material that they're using in the process, and it's just a staging area.
Okay.
There's extensive work going on in the pipeline. The one call that come in, the description of the one area was 38,500 linear feet of the one trench. So there's a massive amount of work going on within there, within the pipeline.
So most of it's on the riverside now, because they closed the big hole that was on the, going up.
Well, it crosses schoolhouse, goes up across,
Oh, up across even
goes
there.
up
Yeah, it
across,
goes all the way
crosses
through.
Royer, crosses Cornet, and ends up all the way out Pine Hill. So
Yeah.
it's an extensive amount.
So is this just maintenance stuff?
How many miles?
Yeah.
600 is what I.
600 miles, yeah,
Of new line,
of new line.
plus repair.
Yeah, that, what I referenced was just the one call that came through that's in Penn Township. So there's, not all of it's excavation, a lot of it's directional boring, so. But my understanding is a lot of it's maintenance, some's new routing too, but most of it's maintenance.
Okay, and then I have one other thing. Since it's getting close to the time, God forbid, that we're gonna start getting snow, I wanted to bring up the issue that we have had in the past with the snow getting deposited right on the Little Rock Road, that's the private road, and in front of Mr. Benner's driveway, so that you have our permission to push that snow onto the property to get it off the road. Because what was happening last year and the years past, it got piled up right in front of the drive coming down from where we live, and in front of where Mr. Benner has to come out. And it ends up that, like last year with that 33 inches, we couldn't get through. It was just really, really difficult. We finally.
Nobody did.
Well, I know, but we finally had to
Correct.
get somebody to come and,
Yes.
well, then they came and did our driveway. He had to plow himself in to get there, and so I just wanted to let you know, you can bring it in and put it on our property, and we won't sue the township, we'll be happy to get rid of it.
Your old address, ma'am?
14 Rupp Road.
Once you,
And when you come back Rupp Road, Mr. Benner's goes straight, and then ours turns to the right, and that's private road, but,
Okay. And just FYI, I'm, with our new roadmaster, having his experience working with major projects, state highway projects, that he has developed an agreement type of thing. So don't be offended if he comes out and asks you to sign an agreement.
oh, that's fine.
Okay, but that's just something that protects you and protects us.
That's not a problem. Okay.
Mr. Boyer.
I just have a question that, I'm sorry I got here late, but I'm on the UCC Appeals Board. When this gentleman did appeal, and that whole thing was a fiasco, but I took it upon myself to go out there because I was gonna be making a decision on that. Took it upon myself to go out there and look at his property and look at his garage and the variance he was asking for and everything. And he didn't know me from anybody. I showed him my driver's license, told him who I was, but I was wondering, would it be possible to get some kind of an official looking
ID?
ID?
Yeah, should.
I don't want to come in here and sit on a board and make a decision without perhaps seeing what's going on. I know we've only had 2 instances since I've been on the board, but if that would be possible, I think it would be
You
advantageous.
think there's a problem with that?
Most of the municipalities I'm in have IDs.
Yeah,
So
we can do
getting
that.
township ID,
Yeah.
something that, It's something we can produce ourselves. So that way that the people know that's an official visit.
Mhm. And safety for him too,
Correct.
or everyone, yeah.
I just think it would be.
That's doable, Jesse.
Okay, thank you. And other than the cookies, that's all I have.
John, enough of them.
I'm not passing them out.
No, that's Bob's job.
No, 8 o'clock every weekend, 8 o'clock.
That's it.
That's it? Okay. All right, that ends the recognition of visitors. Next, we're gonna go on to invoices and expenditures.
Other than the normal operating expenses, we made the first of 4 payments for the workers' comp.
For the next year.
And also, you'll notice under the Orrstown Bank expenses, the payroll's now listed under there since we've gone direct deposit. And that gets paid out of Orrstown rather than Pliget.
Yes. We transfer the money over. You did that right.
Okay.
What? You
I
did
make
that
the
right?
motion that we go ahead and accept the invoice and expenditure for the period of September 1st, 2016 through September 28th, 2016. Okay, do I have a second?
You have a second, sir.
Okay. All right, any discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye, except I abstain from voting on check number 29688 because I'm employed by the bank.
Okay. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Invoices have been approved. Next, we have the treasurer's report.
This month, we received the state aid for the fire, foreign fire deposit, and we also received the pension state aid from the state.
And with the pension state aid, we got back more than we paid, so we're gonna have to send some of that back to.
$389 or something like that.
Yeah. I'd rather have to do that.
Okay, I make a motion that we go and accept the treasurer report pending audit. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right, next we have the minutes of August 25th, 2016, which was the budget meeting for the Police Department, yes. And then also we have the minutes for August 31st, 2016. All right. I make the motion that we go ahead and receive these minutes, both dates of August 31st and August 25th.
Second that motion, sir.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. All right, let's move on to the highway report.
Presenting you with the report. Basically been cleaning road edges, filling washouts, culverts, taking care of vegetation. One of the biggest things on the report was taking care of mourning dove and quail, the tar and chip. Attached to that is next month's look ahead as well. And we have a water issue. We had a complaint from 110 Jefferson Street. We looked at it. Actually, Mr. McGuire went with me out. That was with me that day, and I showed it to him. Responded in a memorandum what my recommendations would be, how to handle that for your review. Equipment that we have that I think is obsolete, or we can get rid of some of it while we have some value. Some equipment we need that'll make us more self-sufficient. Since I did this, our workers' comp lady was here, gave us a review, and she's more or less demanding we get rid of the one piece of equipment, so.
Yeah.
That's there for you, for your, to take a look at and give direction on. Our biggest issue right now with maintenance with the roads is shoulders not being taken care of properly. PennDOT has RC standards that show roadway and shoulder area for a reason. It's not just that you have a shoulder just to drive on. We're not at luxury as a township, as most, to pave them. I wish we could. But we still need to maintain a shoulder area. If you take a look at the roads everywhere where that vegetation is up over the edge and humped up, you'll find one common denominator in most of them areas. The crack in the road will be wider. It'll be cracked more. Because what that's doing is holding vegetation, or I'm sorry, that vegetation is holding moisture. Of course, it's purging under the side of the road, it's getting soft, and pretty soon that's where you have your depression in the road. Proper way to clean them up, to clean those shoulders and ditches, is you hook them into the roadway. You get a much nicer ditch line while you're doing it, and then you clean it up off the road. We got a lot of that needs done. We went out and we did what we could with the backhoe in areas that weren't right up to people's yards. I realize this is going to create some conversation, what needs done, because there's a lot of areas where this needs done where residents are mowing right to the road. So there's a memorandum there for you to review. With your permission, I'd like to hold a public meeting to explain that with everyone, as the gentleman that came in earlier. You know, I think it'll help, you know, and I like handling it the way he suggested, as far as, you know, communication with the residents. I don't have a problem with the residents having my private cell phone number and call me anytime, because I want to know what the issues are, because I'm here to serve the township. So I have a lot of experience in roads, and I just want to, you know, put it to use. That's there for your review. There's another memorandum on our current paving agenda, which was a 3-year plan, which already was in place. The memorandum's pretty self-explanatory. My feelings are our current paving plan, even though it fixes 3/4 of a mile of road per year in a better, more proper manner, it's not as much of a, call it a Band-Aid effect, but it just keeps getting us further behind. 3/4 of a mile a year, we have 28.84 miles of road, so it's kind of a no-brainer to do the math. Where we're gonna end up if we continue on the same route, where I ran some numbers, and we can do some chip repair, scratch and level course, and then tar and chip. And in them same 3 years, instead of 2.25 mile, we can do 7 to 8 miles. I have information to where I pretty much have, I just got to format it and get it presentable to you, but I pretty much have a 12-year paving plan in place for your review. So anyhow, that's another memorandum for you to think about. Maybe we should shift gears, change that up a little bit so we could, ideally, a township our size should be paving a mile and tar and chip an 8 mile. The budget's not there. That's not possible. So we have to, even I realize the plan I'm presenting you has a little bit of a Band-Aid effect, but that's about all we can afford. We can't afford anything without some type of Band-Aid effect. It's a act. I did look at the site distance issue, made a phone call with the corn, didn't get anywhere. Unfortunately, I've dealt with this at my own residence. I got an issue coming out of our own driveway when we first moved down there, and tried to rectify it, and I had some connections at Penn at the time, because I worked heavy highway, and basically I couldn't get anywhere. And I even said, well, how about I just go do it myself? And they recommended that wouldn't be a good idea. I was just going to go do it. But I realized this isn't, but one thing that helps me, I just would like to point out as a safety precaution, with the sight distance issue is, one thing that I do that helped me feel more comfortable is, I roll my windows down when I'm out there to pull out, that I can at least hear traffic versus just trying to rely on seeing it. I realize that's not, the proper fix. I'm not, I just want to assure everybody that I take the sight distance issue seriously. I sure wouldn't want, but our hands are really tied. Not saying we won't get anywhere with enough pursuit, but there's just not much we can do. But I did check into them and realized since then, I've had time to do some more survey. We have more issues of sight distance in just these two locations that the gentleman pointed out. One of the worst ones pulling out right here in our own shop.
Yes.
Pulling out on the 274. It's terrible.
And unfortunately, a lot of those things were put there before sight distances were required.
Yeah,
When you have a
right.
2-year-old, 170-year-old
Right.
township.
And then on the second unfortunately is, it's kind of a grandfathered in type situation it puts you into, so. That's pretty much covers everything with the highway.
What I'd like to do is at least take action on one of your requests about the public meeting, because I'm sure that this is something that you can start working on as soon as you inform people what's going on.
Yes.
So you kind of like want to do a workshop type meeting where you just invite the residents to come out and give a plan of what you're planning to do, because it's going to affect property owners.
Well, it's gonna take, we gotta peel the sod, which is gonna, they're mowing it now, so they're looking at it as their lawn. And it is their lawn, it is their property, we have the right of way. But I wanna show them, what's needed, so our roads last longer than what, we'll get more bang for our buck with our taxpaying dollars on our roads. But I wanna assure them that my intent is not to go abuse our right of way and just say it's within the right of way and be sloppy.
Correct.
When we're in that situation, we gotta be a little more neater. Get that, but we need shoulders,
So how much time do you need to prepare a plan and to inform the residents? Because then we need to know how much time we have to give
As
notification.
soon as you can have the meeting, all I need is a chalkboard and have the RC standards along to show them, what PennDOT shows we're supposed to, have. Even though we can't have what PennDOT has, we're not working with the funds they have.
Correct.
But I really don't,
But these are fixes we can do to extend the life of our roads,
yes.
particularly with the property.
We went out with the backhoe and we did do the entire township, but we skipped areas where, out of respect to the residents, until we get a chance to, because, regardless of what we do, a lot aren't gonna like it, but my feelings are if they understand it, it's gonna be much better, going forward. It's just a necessity to keep the, and some places you don't have to go as far as others, it depends if it's in a cut situation, meaning if you have a bank, or if it's in a fill situation to where it's, above the road, and there's a swale. So, but it is a necessity. It's very, very important that we take care of we get shoulders established on our roads again.
What's that?
The earliest would be the 14th, but we could do it anytime the week of the 17th.
Okay, because I would get enough time for now, my question, I know we're gonna talk about the, about the township newsletter. Is that already?
It's too late for
Too late,
that.
okay, it's too late. Is there a way for us to put a flyer or an insert in that also to announce?
Yes, yes.
If you get us to come in and help you stuff them?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
got child labor for that.
Oh, you got, okay. So if we could, let's make it so that the residents have plenty of time to get notification through the media and then also through the newsletter.
Ken, are you gonna wanna do everyone in the whole township at one time, or you want sections? It's up to you.
I can still just call the meeting and the ones that there's to advertise the meeting and whoever's concerned, show up.
Okay,
You might have to use the bigger room over there.
Oh,
Just be
definitely.
prepared to use the bigger room.
yes.
Okay,
Okay, then just give me a date.
Are you guys intending on coming?
oh, absolutely.
So
It's
the
gonna be
ne-
advertised.
All right, so, well, the notice has to advertise the Board of Supervisors
Yeah.
meeting for the purposes of providing information through the roadmaster.
Yeah.
Versus just a meeting where you can introduce the roadmaster, and if two of you aren't there, only one of you is, you don't need to worry about just make sure it mentions the
Yeah.
board's meeting.
The week of October 17th?
Yeah, that's the third week, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the
Yes.
third week.
Not the 17th itself, if possible. That's planning commission.
Yes. Would we look at the 18th, the 19th, the 20th? Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Yes. Does that Thursday affect you at all? The third Thursday? Or what about you, Joe, third Thursday? Would be the 20th?
The 20th, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine with me.
Schedule for 7 PM. That way it gives people time to get home and get here.
Whatever, you gotta do whatever works. It's more your guys' schedule. I mean, I can make mine whatever, so whatever is best for the rest involved. And whatever you feel is best for the public coming in, you know, by the time they get home from work.
Jim, hint in the record.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion then that we go ahead and schedule a highway workshop with the Board of Supervisors on October 20th, 7 PM, 2016. Do I have a second?
Give it a second, sir.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. All right, go ahead and advertise for the 20th and do an insert for the newsletter. Okay? If you can work something up, yeah. If you want to work something up to give Helen to insert, okay?
Okay. Did you want to talk about the water issue at all?
Oh, yes, that was the one up on Lake, up on
Jefferson.
Jefferson. I know I saw it.
It's in the front, right after the report.
Yes. Some of this work that you talk about, Ken, is actually going to be on some of the property owner? Is it gonna be?
Where the pipe would outlet would leave our right of way. Where the inlet would sit and where the pipe starts would be within our right of way. Where the pipe outlets and ends up off our right of way. But it's in an existing swale where the water is going now, but it's taking different routes to get there. We're gonna direct it to one route to get there, because it's actually, which Mr. McGuire saw, it's actually has his yard completely washed out.
Okay, so are we going to have to seek, approval from the property owner to do some of this?
I'm just assuming we need some type of easement.
Probably similar to the same thing that you have for the snow plowing, where you just need to say, we need to get onto your property. Do you have
I was just looking for direction with that. The property owner is on board for whatever.
Okay.
You know, short of porking the bill for the whole deal, you know. I did talk to him about, in case, I brought up the fact in cases like this, I don't think it's 100% our ownership. I mean, the road was there when the house was built, when they chose to buy the house, but it definitely our, you know, runoff from the road is causing the issue. So I'm suggesting like maybe he pay for the pipe, you know, and we'll put the curb in.
And that's just something you'll work up with him and get the
Right,
agreement and
right,
the easement.
Right,
and all that.
it's nothing that's a huge deal. We'll put the curb in ourselves.
Is that something we need to take action on, because it's the easement and all that stuff?
You're gonna have to, if there's an easement, I think what you can do is one of two things. Here's what I would recommend. You authorize Ken to be able to sign the easement document, have him, or direct him to have it come to me, and I'll get a look at it so that you're sure that we've got sort of covered what's covered, or I can draft it, whatever's more comfortable for you, Ken. Once you tell me the terms, et cetera, I have forms, I've done this for some other, this is common.
Okay.
I'm used in the heavy highway construction world to having a standard form
Yep.
that I can just write some information and do a little sketch, and it's a done deal.
Yep, and that's good, and what I'm saying is, if you give him the ability to sign on behalf of the township, let me look at it.
Right.
So, and then, do you have a cost idea of what our share would be?
I'll work it out.
Alright, and so what you do is direct him to do that step, and then you will have to vote on a cost expenditure, because it's a non-budgeted item.
Okay. But we vote tonight to give him authorization.
To move forward
To move
with
forward.
it, get the document, talk to the property owner, work out the agreement, so that he can come back and say, here it is.
Okay.
You guys approve this expenditure,
Okay.
and then he can get moving right away then.
I make the motion then that we go ahead and authorize Ken Chubb Highway, our
Roadmaster.
roadmaster, to go forward to get the estimates and the signed agreement with our solicitor's oversight for the 110 Jefferson Street water project, or the water issue. Then for Mr. Chubb then to come back with the financials so we can approve those. Okay. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Ayes have it, so be it. Okay.
Okay, the next thing is Mike Everson. It is up for, his probation time is up.
Okay.
I need to know if he's off probation, any raises, with the understanding that we normally do that at the beginning of the year, and January's coming quick. So it's up to you guys. You know, you can't sit down.
I'm good. I've been sitting all day.
Okay, just a question here, Mr. So you are recommending for permanent full-time employment? To go off of probation?
Yep, I can,
All night.
still need some direction, but we can get there.
Okay, any thoughts from the board on, with coming off of probation? I know we have a set probation fee for our officers, and when they come off of probation, they go to another fee. With other parts of the township, that's different. It's a recommendation from the board to give an increase at the time of coming off for probation. Any input from the board on, Helen recommended, or thought was that, not recommended, thought was that since we were so close to the end of the year, that would it be out of line to,
Wait, or go, it's either or. I mean, you can give him a raise now, and then again in January if you wish.
okay, the January is across the board, everybody,
Normally, yes.
okay? And would it be inappropriate to give everybody the increase and then give an additional one at that time for the promotion, or do it now?
You can, you mean additional money, say like a 2%?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, it's really what you gentlemen wish.
What was the agreement with him?
There's no agreement when you come off of probation. It's just that anytime in the interview is that when you come off of probation, there could be an increase, but not guaranteed. Looking at his review, he has scored fairly moderate for coming out of probation. Middle line, don't want to go into too much, there's this, I would make a recommendation at this time that we go ahead and approve a 20-cent per hour increase in his wage
As of?
as of the end of his probation. So would it go retroactive?
Yes, it would.
Okay, would go retroactive
Let me
to,
think, that was, God, my brain just went blank.
August
Well,
7th.
that's okay.
Yeah, thank you, August 7th.
Okay, so just go retroactive, 20% or 20 cents, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have a second?
That's a good step.
Give him a second, sir.
Okay, any discussion?
To August 7th,
Yes.
okay.
Any discussion?
Double check that
All right,
date.
all in favor, say aye.
Double check the date.
All
I'll
opposed,
check
say
the
nay.
date.
Okay, approved.
2 seconds.
Brian,
Okay.
2 second.
Mr. Landis.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, they like to confuse us. And the other thing is, Mr. Holman's agreement that you guys signed the first, back in the January, he would like this to be renewable every year. We put on agreeable, renewable every March of every year, because by March, we'll know if we want to keep it or not. For the E3 oil tank and the trailer.
Good. And it's the same agreement that we agreed upon.
It's just
in the
renewable
beginning of
yearly.
the year. All it's doing is just adding a clause saying that this agreement will be reviewed and renewed every March of every March of each year. So it's just adding a change to it, just to add a
Unless-
review date or,
Or if you don't want March, you can do January.
well, like you said, it gives a better idea of whether or not if we're gonna, and the roadmaster would be able to tell us if it's a piece of equipment that is further needed or not, So, it's been useful so far, so.
We need the tank for the oil.
Correct.
The trailer, we need to get rid of as soon as we can.
So I make,
Question, we don't not want the trailer anymore?
No, we need it right now with not having anything else. We don't want to use it any more than we need to.
so what he's saying is
It has
that,
a steel bed on it,
Mhm.
and we load a steel drum roller on it. And the only way to do that is put rubber matting down. It's not a real good situation to use.
Okay.
And the way it's designed, the hinge point, it tilts like a seesaw,
Mhm.
and the hinge point is too far front. You gotta run the piece of equipment all the way up on until it starts to tip down. Today was the first that I was really around it to use it. We took the roller down to Watts to do some experimenting with the road, and we don't wanna use it anymore than we have to.
Okay.
And all my equipment, my memorandum about equipment needs a new deck over trailer. No, I say new to us. It
Yes.
doesn't have to be new equipment. I don't want anybody thinking, I think I just have to have new equipment to work with. But new to us, we need a deck over trailer.
So what I'm hearing is, at the moment, we still want to
At the moment, we're
use.
stuck. If we gotta take that roller out, we have no other way
Okay,
of doing it.
so at the moment, we want to continue to use the trailer.
Right.
and it'll come up for review this March anyway.
Yeah,
This
okay.
coming March. So, I make the motion that we go ahead and, accept the same terms as they were in the previous agreement, with the exception of adding that this agreement will be renewed March of each year. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Okay, and, any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. If you go ahead and get that taken care of, Helen,
I'll try.
if you could notify Mr. Holman.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the engineer,
Nope.
we have the plow,
Oh, part-time, your part-time snow.
Yeah. My thoughts are in preparation, I realize the snow's not flying yet, but it's gonna be before we know it. I wasn't sure if we had any part-time people lined up in a blizzard situation to where we're stuck out here for 2-3 days. I think it'd be a good idea if we plan to have 1 or 2 people, as extra. I mean, I have no problem working 2-3 days straight, but at that point, you should be directing somebody what to do, not in actually doing it yourself. In case something would happen, obviously, it can be just a minor fender bender and somebody makes automatically blames it on the fact that whomever was out for 40 hours straight.
Right.
And with the blizzard last year, everybody's aware of what can happen.
Okay, with talking with Helen earlier today, there's several options that we can take and pursue them all. One is that we can look at a list of folks that we had from the past and reach out to them and build a list. Number two, a part of the insert that we're gonna put in the township newsletter, maybe we can include a blurb there if there's any experienced plow drivers out there that would be looking for additional hours when called upon, you know, reach out to the township.
It's not something that we need it much, and it's not something that we'll reach out to all the time, but I'd like to have a plan, so they get caught.
Okay, so I guess what we do then is just, maybe are you taking notes there? Okay. If we could just have Helen build a list of previous persons that worked on the snow removal, and also include on the insert notification of the workshop, highway workshop, just a blurb there that the township is looking for experienced snowplow operators.
Part-time basis.
Yeah, part-time basis as needed. Okay.
And on the equipment list, I missed, it's just a small item, but I missed it. We should have an air grease drum, there's,
Compressor?
no, it sits over a bucket instead of,
Oh,
we
okay.
have a grease gun, we're
Right.
taking grease, taking basically a putty knife, going a tube, and just a backhoe and one truck, there's over 100 fittings. And with that, one person has to put it on and hold it on, the other person has to pump it. It's just, now that they're $300 or $400, but we should get one as soon as possible.
Is that within your budget line or within?
Yes, it's within the budget line. But we got some rain coming up, and I do a schedule, I do have a plan for rainy days already done, things that need done, and now with our workers' comp audit, there's a few other little things here and there that need tidied up. So that's what brought it to my attention.
If it's within your budget restraints and stuff like that, I don't think it needs to be approval from the supervisors.
No, I just wanted to bring it up now because I forgot it
Just
on
for
there.
knowledge and stuff like that. Okay, I thank you for that transparency.
I mean, it's
and
not
letting us know.
it's $400 or $500, but I don't consider it, I don't, you know what I mean? It's not a huge expense, but it's $400 or $500.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
But it'll save us in labor, pay for itself time and time again.
Okay. Yes, Lee?
How many employees do we have that can have a CDL?
Right now, one.
Highway.
Right now, one.
So there's only one person who can drive the big truck.
Right. Grandma's the only truck, what we call Grandma, the 800, that's the only one that requires CDL. And I don't think, since it was used for snow removal in the blizzard, that was, my understanding is that was Henry's choice of truck to drive, that it has not been used since then. And that is one of the vehicles I recommended we sell now while it has some value. It's really not needed, which I bounced off of our state rep, Rick Levan, who, with some of the equipment, can be purchased, if it's done a certain way, can be purchased through liquidated fuels. So he agreed with me that now would be probably, if we're not using it, now would be a good time to sell it while we can get some value out of it.
How many dump trucks do we have?
We have the Sterling, we have the 550, and we have the what we call Grandma, the older Ford. That's the biggest one of the three. So we got, and then actually the new truck that hasn't even been used yet for snow removal has a dump box on it. It's sitting in the shop, has not even been out on the road yet. That's brand new.
They only carry 6, 7 ton, right? 6 ton maybe?
Yeah, something. Now the Sterling carries a little more. Sterling's a little bit bigger. It's in between.
That's 26,000.
Yes. Yes, it's still under CDL, but it's closer the size of the one that requires CDL.
It's a lightweight truck.
Right. And then we have the two, they're 550s. They would be around here.
So we have two 550s, a Sterling and Grandma.
And, yes, correct, sir.
And Grandma's the one you're looking to get rid of. And that's rated at what, 40,000?
Probably 38. I'm thinking the requirement on that is, I believe 38, the way they license it.
And the Sterling's gonna hit the road soon? The new one? That's gonna be out on
Yeah,
road
the
soon?
Sterling, we won't use till, it'll be ready for snow removal. That'll be the first to be used. Not that it couldn't be used now for something small, but it's not needed for, with having the other ones, we've been hauling the material out on either the Sterling or the other, the 550. This is a different 550.
What's the weight limit on the 550s?
Tell you the truth, I'm not positive, I'll have to check. But as, he's close at 5-6 tons.
Okay. All right, have you, worked up with Helen on adjusting your budget to get rid of Grandma and to get, is it just to get seller and get rid of it? Or is it to replace or to add on to the fleet?
I don't feel we need another dump truck. But what we do need is some other equipment.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I guess we have to take action on authorizing the sale of Grandma, or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can we table this just a couple minutes till Mr. McGuire comes
Move
back?
forward on the agenda.
Okay. Just remind me to come back to it. Okay, moving forward, we have the Penn Township Planning Commission.
Nothing,
Okay, then we have the Penn Township Economic Development.
nothing.
Okay, next we have the zoning report.
You have it in front of you.
Okay. And next we have the sewer enforcement report.
You have that in front of you.
Okay. No activity. All right, let's go ahead and go with the Penn Township Park and Rec.
You have that in front of you. The Halloween party is going to be October 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. They are going to, they went out for quotes and they're going to replace the door on the concession stand where the tractors are stored.
Okay.
That's going to be $500. And that's all they have.
Okay. All righty. Next we have the Penn Township Municipal Authority.
You have the draft minutes from September in front of you. I don't have anything else unless they do.
Mr. Holman, do you have anything to report on Sunshine Hill, what's going on with the survey? I'm gonna assume the survey's been done?
I'm assuming the survey's already it should all be done, turned in, and that's all I know.
So we're just waiting for the con to,
The powers to be.
now it's the wait game. Okay. All right, and we are, where are we at with the municipal water agreement? Is that?
We have a private committee working on that, and that's still in its infancy.
Okay. Thank you.
Very, very low level at the present moment. I mean, this is not gonna be something that's gonna happen overnight, I can assure you.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, you were going to revisit the 800 Grandma and the
Yes.
sale of it.
As a recommendation from the roadmaster, Mr. Chubb, has requested that with consideration from our state representative that what they're calling Grandma, which is the 38-ton.
Yeah, it's a Ford 8,000, I believe.
Okay,
800,
What year is that?
No, I'm not even sure. I didn't even look.
It's 70, 80s, something like that. I'd have to check. It's
So quite a few years.
Yeah,
isn't it?
she's,
Okay.
we call her
Me
grandma
either.
for a reason.
I'm assuming we don't need them to haul anything for winter anti-skid or anything?
That's you.
Well, we're not going to
Well,
retrieving any.
we're not able to go down and pick it up anymore, so we'll be
No.
getting it all, we gotta buy it from Pennsy, we'll be getting it delivered.
So there, you know, just-
Like the R4 we got delivered, the sub base we're getting delivered.
Okay.
I mean, that's part of the thinking, because we're not able to go pick up our, you know, we're not able to use the cinders we were using before, we're not allowed to use anymore.
Okay, so what?
Do you have contingency plans in case the snow plows break? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said, then, he's requesting that we give consent to go ahead and sell the 38-ton grandma, okay, to be able to get some value out of it before there's nothing left to it. So he's explained that it's no longer needed and that there is a backup plan for if there's an emergency. So I make the motion that we go ahead and give the roadmaster, Mr. Chubb, permission to sell the, advertise and does that to be out for bid on the 38-ton grandma. Okay.
Question. Wasn't that the one we used to haul anti-skid in?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
We're not allowed to use that anti-skid anymore, sir, so we gotta purchase it, so Pennsy will be delivering the anti-skid. And the reason I say Pennsy, they have the smaller stone that works best in the spreader. Some of the stone, like Hemp Brothers, we had got some from Hemp Brothers, but it doesn't work, doesn't go through the spreader as near as nice as what the smaller stone from Pennsy does.
Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a second to the motion?
You have a second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. Minimum bid or not?
You want a cookie?
Board of Directors, Board of Supervisors can reserve the right to reject all bids placed in the ad. As long as that's placed in the ad, you guys can decide when you get the bids whether you're gonna take them or not.
Reject it or not. If we can get an idea what the fair market value.
Well, I think we should have, we'll do some research and
Okay.
try to come up with what the value, roughly what the value is.
Yeah, and that's for the board. In other words, you work against yourself to put in any numbers in your request for bid.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I have to ask.
Yep.
All right.
Reserve the right to reject all bids.
Any other
And
discussion?
then you can let them know so they know what a good
Yeah.
bid is.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it.
Where are we
Okay.
at?
Next
Oh,
one is
mine.
Secretary's report.
Okay. Okay, the first thing we have is the pipeline road repair agreement. We have that. We need to affirm that it's okay.
Okay, this is what that is.
Yes.
And this is what the agreement was, that working with Ken and the videotaping of the roads and all that stuff and everything, okay. So we just have to affirm that we agree to this, to the terms of this agreement, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we affirm the Spectra Energy Partner September 6, 2016 Texas Eastern Transmission of the Penn Jersey Omni Project of 2016. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. It's been affirmed.
Okay. The next thing is Baker Door quote to, well, there's 4 quotes on here. One's, I told you about for the park and rec, for their storage shed. The other are line item 2 and 4. They got that wrong. Line item 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. They got line item 4.
Line 2, 4, and 4.
Yeah. One is to replace the bottom section of the existing door of the shop. One is to unwind springs and then replace the complete torsion shaft and rewind springs and check for proper operations. And the fourth one is lubing and adjusting each door as needed. Also includes checking all hinges, rollers, cables, weather stripping, bottom, and the bottom retainers. Any additional things on those, they will quote appropriately, accordingly.
Okay, I make the motion that we go ahead and accept the proposal from Baker Door Company with the items listed in Park and Rec number 1, that will come out of their budget
Yes.
line. And then line item 2, 3, and 4 will come out of the general budget,
It will come out of the highway
the
budget.
highway budget. And authorize that work again. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it.
Okay, this is, the next thing is the clock card, policy and procedures. You agreed to this with a consensus, now you just need to affirm.
Okay. I make the motion that we approve the time card policy and procedure. And I guess we'll take them, as stated. Do I have a second?
You have a second, sir.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Okay.
Okay, and then there was a discussion on random drug testing. I found a drug-free workplace policy, and I basically filled in from our policy that's in the personnel manual. This is just for review, FYI right now. There is one thing that I do like, and that is, there was also an employee agreement and consent to drug and alcohol testing on there.
So basically what you have done is taken our policy in these 3 additional documents, was just kind of gave it an overview,
Yes,
okay? So it's not really a change to the policy.
No.
It's an overview of our policy with the signed agreement that they agree to the terms and the condition that could be at employment or per incident.
yes.
Or what, or per.
Yeah, just like with the little accident that Mike had,
It's
the
a,
bumper, and he went down for his drug test.
correct, exactly. You know, per OSHA and all that stuff, so. So it's just, I guess all we just do is
Just look at it for
just
now.
look at it, because there's no action needed to be taken, because there's no change in policy.
No.
Okay, so it's just for our information. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, next we have the,
Training
yes,
for Human Resources and Labor Institute. I'd like to attend, and maybe someone else on the board would or something.
and this is October 13th.
Yes.
It's a PSAT.
It's a PSAT down in Enola. That's a Thursday.
Okay. I'd like to attend with you, Susan.
Okay.
You want to take really good notes? I just, I'd love to attend. But I don't want to cause it, that's $120.
Yeah, I know.
That'd be $220. If you could just gather as much of information as you can. So I make a motion that we authorize Helen to take additional training for the 2016 Human Resource and Labor Management Institute, which takes place at PSATs in Enola, Mechanicsburg. for the amount of membership fee of $119. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Ellen,
Okay.
you're going to change.
Yay. Next is, and the last, is the conflict and disclosure consent and the engagement letter from McNeese, Wallace, and Noack.
Okay.
That's coming on that one. No, you don't have that.
Okay. All right, this was in a consensus before the board in a executive session. We have to affirm in a vote publicly what basically we had discussed earlier. We discussed earlier that in the executive session that we have some, what was the, I just want to give the right terminology here, give me 1 second. That we have potential litigation and personnel issues. Therefore, the township, we felt that we needed to pursue an HR attorney. So at this time here, we see the fees that have been laid out by the firm in the agreement. Also in the agreement that that they would represent the township only in our HR issues, still retaining Mr. Allhouse as our general solicitor. I make the motion that we go ahead and make official McNeese, Wallace, and Nurick as our HR attorneys to cover us for our legal issues and personnel issues. Do I have a second?
You have a second, sir.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Nay? Ayes have it. Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Okay.
We don't have to do those two separate things.
I have a question.
Did this
If
engagement
we're
letter?
paying a lawyer for HR legal means, does that mean we're being sued for something?
No.
Not at this time.
Okay. It's just with issues that are faced in the township, we feel that we need to make sure that we're rightfully represented, and therefore that the decision has been made from the board to make sure that we have those representation and that we're above the curve.
So we need two attorneys all the time, basically.
What's that?
We need two attorneys at the same time, right?
We're gonna get a bang for our buck, because what's going to happen also is that it's been a long time since our HR policies or anything's been reviewed in HR, our handbooks, the procedures. Just like we have an auditor that's auditing the police department, making sure that we have all the right policies and procedures. Because if you look at police departments today, they're being sued left and right. So we gotta make sure that we have the right verbiage to protect, okay? So likewise, we had to, so with the solicitor, this HR solicitor, they're actually, will be reviewing the township's policies and procedures as it deals with HR. Because the HR world, if you're into hiring and firing or discipline of your employees, it's changing, you know, with the wind, changes with the wind. So we need a review of our policies to make sure that everything is worded and dealt with correctly. So not only are they going to help us in our legal issues, but they're also going to overview and review our policies and give recommendations, which they've already given some recommendations and changes, so.
And this money's been budgeted?
What's that?
This money's been budgeted?
No, it has not.
How much is the expenditures?
It's a per need basis, so anytime we need them on something, they have a fee schedule. Yeah, there's a fee schedule that they've given us.
It's on the last page, second paragraph of the engagement letter.
Yeah, gave it, the fee schedule was. It's basically as need situational, so if there's a situation arises that we need to.
Well, you said they were gonna review our policies, so, you know.
It's gonna cost.
It's gonna cost. There's a
Correct.
cost associated
Well,
with it.
that's a part of them reviewing it, so there's hourly rates of them reviewing. If you look at our handbook, it's probably about, what, 12 pages, 15? Maybe
24,
25, okay.
something like
So it's
that.
not a very large policy, a book for them to review. But listen, if we don't have the right verbiage, and we don't have the right policies in place, it's been, and you go out and look, small townships that don't think that they live back in Mayberry days, where everybody just loves each other, the environment has changed. People will target our small townships for the purpose, because they know we don't have our stuff together. And we need to step out of the 1600s, okay? We need to step into the 21st century. And we need to assure that we're not paying out in lawsuits, whatever it is. We need to make sure that we are following the guidelines and we're secured as much as we can be.
And I still haven't heard how much it's gonna cost.
It's per needed, it's per needed.
What are the prices that they've quoted,
Okay.
please?
Okay,
Thank you.
the schedule fee is what they have, hourly billing rates, for the range from 155 to 350 for paralegal and specialist, and from 200 to 500 for the attorney fee. Generally, these rates are varying from attorney to attorney depending on the expertise. Then they have the disbursement. Most engagement requires that certain advance be made on behalf by the firm, out-of-pocket travels. But since we're dealing with them for the HR issues, travel and all that's going to be limited, because with technology, things are pretty much emailed, faxed, or whatever, directly to their office. There also is periodic billing unless we have another agreement made. There's monthly invoices and professional services. So that's upon our request. So if we request them to do something, that would be the periodic billing. We're requesting them to do something on behalf of the township. They also have administrative charges in the event that your invoice and your fees and are not paid on time. There's a 12% for not paying on time. Funds held in escrow, they're not requesting escrow, they're not requesting a retainer, okay? So it's as per needed basis.
Okay, so we're gonna have them review the policies that we have currently?
Yes,
Okay, so then we're gonna be laying out money that we don't have budgeted.
okay. Yes, we are, but there is, we went over the budget, we looked at the budget lines, and there's places that if we need, we can make sure that these fees are covered without causing. But again, if we put out, say eventually we do put out $1,500, would we rather spend $1,500 or would we rather spend $6 million?
You're gonna spend more than $1,500 than $500 an hour.
Okay, up to 500. So you're looking at the top line, it's $3 to 5, what was it? $2 to $500, okay? But I'm just giving you, would we rather pay to make sure our butts are covered than to pay a $6 million lawsuit?
What has happened all of a sudden that we gotta do this?
Well, I can't discuss that. We have issues that we need to protect the township. And only thing I can tell you is trust me, because history has a tendency to repeat itself. Yes,
So is this gonna come out of this year's budget, or is it gonna be projected for next year's budget like the police audit?
it's going to come out, at this point here, it's going to come out of this year's budget, but we're also projecting it into next year's budget.
Okay, so it's probably gonna be safe to say between the police audit and the HR stuff, it's probably gonna come out approximately to about $10,000 for a year?
What's that?
About $10,000 for a year for both of them together, is that about correct?
I
Rough
can't,
guesstimate?
I can't give you that projection because
With that
we don't
being
know how
said,
much
that's
we're gonna need to.
$800 a month that we'll be paying.
What's that?
With that being said, that comes out to about $800 a month for a 12-month year. That's a good bit of money.
Okay.
I hope you can afford it.
Well, can we afford lawsuits that cost us $6 million?
That's all
Because
I'm
we're in
saying.
lawsuits right now that's going to hurt us because of bad decisions,
Okay?
okay? So we need to, listen, we need to come into the 21st century. We need to come into the 21st century.
Looks like a tax increase.
What's that?
Looks like a tax increase.
What doesn't look like a tax increase these days? Okay? So, anyway, unless the citizens of this township want to go without insurance because we keep getting sued and we keep losing or we keep shucking out money for lawsuits,
How many lawsuits are there right now?
Monic? Yeah.
Ward's probably gonna become one.
we have one and potentially
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, Ward's listed for trial, so there's.
Okay, so
Listen
that's
to John.
two.
Correct,
How many potential do you have? 5.
yes. Correct, I forgot, yes.
I
So
mean,
potentially,
there's, you know, you wanna tear down Rock Road, you wanna tear down Deuce and Braddock, those are all civil suits. So there's potentially 5 more, so let's say overall, you could have by January 1st, 7 to 10.
Okay, that's lawsuits based upon you going after someone to do work.
Not all of those, but some of them are, yes.
Yeah. How many are coming after this township for money?
Potentially 2 or 3.
Are we allowed to say what they are, or?
There's only one filed, and that is the, Barrick.
and Perdix.
Oh, yeah, and Perdix.
Okay, let's see, moving on here, let's see, we have solicitor. We just dealt with that. Let's go on to the.
No, engineer.
He's all right, he was here.
Oh, that, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm done with mine.
Okay, yes, let's move on to the engineer report.
Right, you should have a copy of my report. It's really just a follow-up to the MS4 permits. We did go back and review the existing mapping and information that we had. We're assuming that once we put together everything we currently have in our information, that it'll need to be field verified, and we were assuming that your staff would do that. I did talk to Mr. Chuck, and he said he'd be willing to go and field verify it for us for accuracy. So we've made that assumption. So,
Okay.
other than that, then you'd have our estimates at this point in time for filling out the request information.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, next we have the,
Request for proposals.
we have requests for proposals for our engineer. With review of the, what was it, 6 of them here, 5 of them here.
Yep.
Looking at all their schedule fees, all of them were pretty close. One of them was very astronomical, way out of the spectrum.
Can you state their names for us?
Yes, we have, one is Red 2. The second one is Light Hagel and Associates in Court. We also have the HRG. Fourth, we have the William F. Hill and Associates. And then we have the last one, which is Panoni. I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and continue our relationship with with two. Yeah, Renew, okay. So I make the motion that we accept the proposal and retain the services of Renew for our township engineer.
Second that, sir.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay.
Were they the low bidder?
What's that?
Were they the low bidder?
Like I said, all of them were very close.
Were they the low bidder?
I can't give you exactly, because they were all within dollars of each other. So
You don't have that information, then, is what you're telling me.
what I'm saying is that,
What you're telling me, you don't have that information.
no, what I'm telling you is that,
You won't tell me.
no, their bids were all very close, as in the same numbers.
Were they
Okay.
low?
What's that? Yes, they were low. Okay?
Thank you.
They were lower than the highest one.
So they weren't the
So they weren't the lowest.
What's that?
Were they the lowest?
They were within margin of, they were all close, within dollars of each other. So it's not like they were $50 here and $100 here. They were within dollars of each other. So if you want semantics, you can have semantics, but, you know, it's what it is.
I just wanna know if they were the lowest of the 5 or 6 bids.
They were within the range of everybody else that they gave the
Okay.
proposal. So, all right. Okay, next we have, the police report.
Yeah, my report there. Also received on the 19th of September
Sorry, can you speak up, please?
received on the 19th of September a resignation from Corporal Myers. He got employment at Lower Paxton. And it was effective the 20th of September. We also took 2 officers off probation. Officer Murphy and Officer Snook. We also completed a grant, and we're in the process now of a buckle-up grant, which ends the end of this week. We have one of our units, a marked SUV, took it down to Hoffman last evening to have a water pump put in it. They say it's going to take about 17 hours, so we won't be getting that back for a few days. And then this evening, during a drug arrest, we sent our marked sedan to No Acres for an axle, broken front axle. A suspect rammed the side of our vehicle and sent it out with the tow truck to No Acres. So we're down to one vehicle, which is the unmarked unit.
No one hurt, was there?
No, he's neck a little bit. He was in the vehicle when it got rammed to the side, right on his side, so he's gonna run down and get looked at. But we made 2 arrests out of that, and we have another arrest that's pending on that. That's about it right now.
Okay. You had a resignation?
Yeah, a resignation from Corporal Myers.
When was that resignation?
I received it on the 19th of September, and it was effective the 20th of September.
You got a 1-day notice. And he was supposed to be our second in charge. One day.
Yep.
Okay. Looking at, we have the 3 employee performance reports here of officers coming off of probation. We do have a 3rd one here that is coming off.
It was a 6-month evaluation, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah, the two were ending their probation.
Okay. So, we have Joseph Murphy and Colby Snook.
Ending their probation. Yeah.
Ending their probation.
And then Michael Cavadias is a 6-month evaluation.
Okay. All right. I make the motion that we go ahead and, so you're making a recommendation, Chief, for them to come off of probation?
Yes.
Correct, okay. All right, I make the motion that we go ahead and receive their performance evaluations, taking them off of probation and being permanent part-time officers in Penn Township, and with the agreement with their employment that they go now from the pay of probation pay to regular part-time pay,
All three.
all three.
Second motion.
Yes,
Second motion.
okay,
Question?
yes.
As of?
Well, it would have to be, what was their,
What was the anniversary date on their probation?
we'll go back to their anniversary date. of
Okay.
So go retroactive back to their anniversary dates.
Okay. I'll let you know for sure what day that is then,
Okay.
which I believe was the beginning of August.
We usually up the pay when they get off, when I
Mm-hmm.
take them off their probation, not at the end of their anniversary date.
Yeah, which was,
It's usually, we've had officers
I'd
that
have to
have
look on
been
it.
on probation for over a year. and-
Well, at the end of their probation date, then there's to be a recommendation given to extend their probation. So procedurally or policy-wise is that when they're ready to come off for probation, it's either one, we don't retain them, two, we continue their probation, or three, we accept the probation period ending. But you're giving the recommendation to, you're giving the recommendation to retain them and take them off of probation salary to permanent part-time salary. Is that correct?
For Murphy and Snook, Travadius would stay on.
Okay, so you're recommending Pravadius to stay on
He's still on
probation?
probation, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're going to go ahead and change that, that motion then, that,
Withdraw the motion.
withdraw the motion, gonna withdraw the motion, make the motion that we go ahead and accept,
Can we vote? Withdraw the motion?
No, you don't have to. Did you vote on it?
no.
we didn't vote.
No, they didn't vote, so he
We just got a
withdraws.
second.
Right.
Okay, so I make the motion that we go ahead and, Officer Joseph Murphy and Officer Colby Snook are now off of probation. We go retroactive to their, evaluation date and go to their, part-time permanent salary.
Yeah.
Okay, now do I have a second?
If I understand you correctly, yes, you do.
Okay.
Murphy, right?
Yes, all right, and, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed nay. Ayes have it.
Do we have to
In
have
reference to Cavadias, is
motion
that,
for him to stay on probation?
that, Chief's recommendation is for him to continue on probation at this time. That would be another 90 days? Is it 90 days or?
It doesn't state in the personnel manual.
Chief's recommendation and your decision.
Okay, your recommendation, Chief? And
Normally, they just stay on probation until it's.
So he recommend them off, so until you get a recommendation.
Did you get a recommendation? Okay. All right, so at this point here, we don't have to take any action on that.
Correct. If he's gonna stay, he stays.
Good, okay.
Okay. Question from Lee.
Yes, Liz?
Another question. I was hoping Stanley would be here, because I didn't read it personally, but he said he read it in the Duncannon Record where the borough is coming back with an offer that is much lower than what they're paying right now for police coverage.
At this time here, nothing's been offered and nothing's been proposed to the township, so,
To be clear, it was, but they haven't got it yet. I literally just got it yesterday. An agreement with numbers in it, I haven't read it, and it's getting forwarded. So I received it, these guys haven't reviewed it or looked at it. Duncannon's solicitor prepared it and forwarded it to me under cover letter. So I have it. I don't want to misspeak that we didn't get it, I have it. They didn't get it, it's coming to them shortly.
How
Okay.
long we would budget then? If they back out or cut it?
Well, what we've already have discussion with the treasurers, with Libby and Helen and Chief. We're actually, Chief is currently working on a part-time budget, meaning that if we don't have an agreement with, we're looking at two budget lines, or two budgets. One, if we retain them and they still, we partner with them, or two, that we're looking at how to limit the hours of service to our community, so we would be looking at a part-time budget. So Chief is in the process of working with the office on a secondary budget, if that would happen.
I believe he asked about for this year, right? I mean, next year, what I'm working on is a budget for next year, not this
To
year.
my understanding, we already have an agreement for this year, so.
Right, so we're.
They had agreed to
we're-
pay fourth quarter. We
Yeah.
should be covered this year unless they, for some reason, don't pay what they said they're going to pay.
Okay, any other questions, Lee?
Not in a week.
Okay, next we have the solicitor's report.
I had provided the board a written report regarding actions ending last month. As far as from the beginning of this month forward, other than copies of correspondence, which are going to be coming up here with regard to the Braddock property, attending the hearing to get the trial date set on the Ward property.
Excuse me, did you say there is a trial date set?
For Ward?
For Ward,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
And he's working to, so that you know, he's working to fix that. He's fixed some of it. There's a couple issues, and he's continuing to work. If he fixes it before trial, there's no necessity of a trial, but the date's been set.
Thank you.
And then, other than that, it was just day-to-day questions, personnel questions, policy questions, reviewing contracts, those kinds of things.
Okay, now let's move forward to the permit report.
Okay, nothing earth-shattering on it. Storage sheds, new home on YMCA. We got the construction driveway permits from Spectra Energy. And that's about it.
Okay.
They say how long they figure to be around.
They said until, oh, that's up here on mine, hold a second, I'll give you dates. In on or about November 30th. That's when they're scheduled to end.
Just in time to hunt.
Of course. They can't interfere with hunting.
Well, they're going to.
Okay.
I'm not there hunting.
All right, under correspondence, we have the electronic recycling.
Yes, the county at the very last moment came up with electronic recycling on October 1st, which is Saturday. They are taking TVs and computer monitors for a price. And it's at the Newport Fairgrounds.
Are they taking towers?
Yes, they're taking all electronics, but they're going to charge for the TVs and the monitors.
And this is taking place this Saturday.
This
at the
Saturday
Fairgrounds
from,
Fairgrounds.
yeah, from 10 to 2.
Charge for it?
Monitors and TVs.
$10 a monitor, $25 for a TV, everything else drop off for free.
Okay, looking at old business,
Budget workshop tomorrow, 7 p.m. Newsletters will be mailed Monday, even with the insert going in.
and there was an addition to
I have information.
the insert.
Okay,
Something else besides
okay.
this meeting.
We'll put it on the
Tomorrow.
inserts. And then the request for proposal for the UCC code. I took their 2,500 square foot house and put what we got for what we would pay currently with the Panoni, but if we go with the COG and we go without the COG. On that spreadsheet, the $150 is if we join the COG. That's a one time a year. When I talked to Daisy at Rye Township, she said she hasn't had to repay that fee for a number of years. That's subject to change. They are, building underwriters are willing to go with us either way, either joining or without joining the COG. The office will still be out on New Bloomfield.
What's the name of that company?
Building BIU.
Building inspection underwriters.
Yes. And that's the same one with the COG. The township would still do the zoning and driveway permits, and those would have to be done before the building permit application would be submitted, either way. If we're gonna have to get someone else. I would suggest that it would be, start December 1st, that way there is not a big lapse on something coming in at beginning of December. Panoni can finish up theirs, and then building underwriters
Try to
would,
get cleaner transition.
yeah.
Panoni's not as cheap?
Panoni is getting out of the business.
Thank God. So they didn't, okay.
No, they did not submit it.
So you didn't get any other quotes
No.
other than BIU?
That's all we got.
Did you ask for other quotes?
Yes.
Yeah, they advertised.
Yeah, we advertised, I mailed out to everyone I knew that does it.
Okay, good.
Okay. I make the motion that we go ahead and accept building inspection underwriters as our UCC inspector and without joining the COG.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
You have a second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay.
They were the lowest bid, Jesse, if that was your asking.
Aye.
I figured that out myself, Chief.
Okay.
I'm also requesting that we set up a meeting, executive session, I guess if we could do it, to discuss transition to what we expect, what they expect.
Okay, yes, yeah, Helen recommended that, that we do have an executive session.
If we can we do that? Executive?
Purposes of briefing BUI with current issues, discussing what the, that's gonna be personnel and employment.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't make decisions, you can't vote.
No,
but
no,
you can
no.
Go over information necessary for them to complete their job.
Okay.
Bring them on board to make the transition. So what we can do is that, if you wanna work with them and see what dates are available to them.
Okay.
And then we can try to give them our dates and find the best dates.
Okay,
I would imagine it's only gonna take a half hour, 45 minutes,
if that,
if that.
yeah,
So, okay.
okay. Thank you for making it easy for me.
I have a question. Is there, what would be the benefit of belonging to the COG? Or no benefit, or?
Well, depends. If the COG gets into anything else other than the UCC code, like going out for bids for stone or oil or anything like that.
Group thing?
Yes,
Okay.
that would be, could be a benefit, because the more people you got, the
Sure.
lower the price.
Sure.
And some of those benefits already come through CoStar.
Yes,
through-
yeah.
Through DGS
Yeah.
and other programs.
Yeah, and we do that a lot. But that would be a benefit. I'm not sure what all they're into right now. Right now, other than the building code. That's pretty much why they started, too. We were when they first joined, we were part of them. And then we didn't go with their UCC, so there was no benefit for us, so we didn't see a reason to pay the money. I can check in and find out more information if you wish so.
You know, for $150 a year, if we could perhaps save some money on stone or whatever, that'd go a long ways.
Oh, definitely.
And obviously, our roadmaster,
Co-stars, we're probably covered there with co-stars. I doubt they're gonna have anything, I've gotta check into it, but I doubt they're gonna have anything that.
I just didn't know
Yeah,
if there
no,
were
it's-
other
it's-
benefits
right.
to belonging to that or.
Yeah, that's worth
You
discussion.
wish me to check
That's
into it?
worth discussion.
Okay.
Well, and then the other thing about it is too, is some of those fees that we collect now under co-stars, we wouldn't be collecting.
No,
those.
under the COG, we wouldn't be.
Under the COG.
No.
We wouldn't be collecting those fees. So so if we got a $12 fee or a $20 fee, those now would be collected by the COG, and that would be actually revenue lost
I see.
to the township.
Thank you.
Okay, and the last thing I have is the trustees' election.
Junior Republic.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. That's no, I didn't put
You didn't put it in
in,
the packet.
not for the third time.
Okay. And this is basically a juvenile community service coordinator action group.
Yes.
Is that through our probation department or? our
They
juvenile?
work with our probation
They work-
department.
okay, they're an agency.
You were supposed to check into more.
They are the agency that juvenile juvenile probation has contracted them to oversee community service programs.
Mhm.
Okay? When I formerly worked at county prison, in conjunction with myself and the sheriff's department, we did those things where I went out and found people, townships, nonprofits to do work for. They provided materials, we provided the labor. So in this aspect, they're actually contracting an agency to oversee their community service. So they're basically coming to us, asking if we are willing to accept them to do things for the township, whether it's painting park benches or cleaning the flower beds or things like that. And there is a full, what do you want to call it?
Or not.
A complete waiver of liability against the township.
Yeah.
So so they assume all liability through their agency. So. So basically, all we have to do is make an action on it that we go ahead and.
I did.
Explore, I guess it's, that we just go ahead,
I have to contact him and,
and we can always cancel if it's something that it's not a fit for us. So I make the motion that we go ahead and join the services or work with George Junior Republic Community Service Action Group, which is through our juvenile probation department through the county. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Do you want to make contact with them?
Mhm.
What I'd like to do is if you could coordinate if the supervisors want to, if you want to meet with them and kind of hear a little bit more of their pitch about what more they're about, I'd like to be able to at least have them, me personally, I'd like to meet with them.
okay.
So, and then I'll make the date available to you guys if you want to join, if you have any questions. Okay?
Okay.
All right, next we have the
PSATs, Board of
Okay.
Trustees. Now they are looking for us either to go vote or to do a proxy for let me see, Unemployment Compensation Trust, the Pension Trust, and the Health Insurance Corporation Trust.
And there's not anybody to select except for one.
That's it.
Okay. I make the motion that we go ahead and allow the proxy for the trustee insurance retirement services under PSAT. One would be the unemployment compensation group trust. Second would be the Pennsylvania Municipal Pension Trust. And then also the Pennsylvania Township Health Insurance Cooperative Trust. Do I have a second?
Second, sir.
All right, any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay.
I have no new
We
business.
have no new business?
I don't.
Okay. All right, I make the motion that we go in and adjourn. Do I have a second?
I have a question.
Yes.
Sometime back, we spent $10,000 to have a police audit done. Have we heard anything back from that? Are they working on it? Are they?
We didn't spend any money actually to have it done yet, but they're
Well,
working on it.
because we
It was
don't have
approved, well, it was approved, but it was approved that no expenditure incurred until 2017.
I agree. I
Okay.
understand that.
Yeah.
Is there any work?
Yes,
been done?
they've started on it. I think they've met with the chief and some of the officers. I know that so far because I saw an email asking the chief for a date to do that. Their plan, they're just basically getting started. I think that happened recently.
Yeah, well, that was a couple of weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago, so.
Thank you.
He said to give it to Chief. The email? Yeah.
I'll provide that to the chief and then let him decide if it, make contact and see if it's real, and he can, I think he has all the information to respond.
You should have an email. I'll give you this one.
It's a drug survey of arrests and problems and et cetera. They want to look at your reports. And so we're not sure it's authentic, but you're the guy who's got them anyway, so
Mhm.
you can decide if it's worthwhile,
Yeah.
so to speak. Usually don't get letters from the DEA.
All right, I'll go ahead and make that motion again that we go ahead and adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second, sir.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, meeting is adjourned.
Pass that down. Is she? I don't know. You should.
Yes, sir.
You said it was two?
There's verdicts, they sued us, and there's one, and it was before me, Barrett.
Put those things in baggies.
Will they be handled by DR or you?
They're handled by